Welcome to day 2 of our mini introduction to Buddhism and mindfulness. Today we're going to look at the 6 realms, 3 delusions, and 5 precepts mainly. Bearing in mind that, this comes from a perspective of me being a practicing Vajrayana Buddhist. So it can't be representative of all Buddhists in the world, but perhaps a little light on what I feel about the topic. So you can see right here, we have a tanka of the 6 states of the wheel of life here. So these are the 6 different realms. And you have the God realm, which is the Deva realm. And then the demigod realm, Asura realm. The human realm, which are considered the 3 higher realms. Then you have the 3 lower realms, which is the animal realm, the hell realm, and the hungry ghost realm. So it's believed in Buddhism that there's 6 different realms that a being can be reincarnated into after their death based on their karma, what they've done in their life previously, or what they have accumulated merits for or destined for to do through their own actions and intentions. Because of course karma is based on cause and effect. So the cause is the seed of what you choose to do, and then the effect is what actually happens because of your choice. With the 6 realms, it is part of a Buddhist cultivation in the hope that we jump out of these 6 realms. Because of course the last noble truth is the fact that you can actually come out of this suffering of samsara and reincarnation by achieving enlightenment, and the path is through the Eightfold Path, which we have talked about in our previous video. And right now you can see the 3 main delusions, or the cause of most of the things that bring us suffering. For example, mainly greed, ignorance, and hatred. So greed can be very ego-based, what we want for ourselves, that all-impending me kind of mentality. And then ignorance is the confusion or delusion, and sometimes the thought that we hold on to because of a karmic pattern, or even because of our personalities. Sometimes it can be due to stubbornness or all sorts of things. And then you have hatred, which is the actual intention to, create maybe an action or a thought that is not of a positive and kind nature or compassion. And often, if you think back to any moment in your life where you feel really, really upset about something, or someone has upset you, or, you've had to fight for something, often there's the play of either one or even all 3 of these root delusions, which are also known as the 3 poisons. So the time when you actually get upset the next time, have a little calm down, have a few breaths, and then consider, hey, where am I in this? Is it because of my ego, which is attached to greed and the whole sensory and desires? It is because of my own confusion, not maybe knowing the full story? Or is it because I have a bias of some sort of hatred in this situation? And it's often quite telling. And, when you have that realization, those are your kind of calm and peaceful moments that kind of bring light to you. And of course, nirvana is the state where there is no actual suffering. Sometimes it can be used to describe different types of enlightenment, and sometimes it can be used to show a state that has gone beyond suffering and towards what we call Buddhahood. So allowing that truthful, honest, original Buddha nature that each of us actually has from the very beginning within us to be uncovered, detaching from all the ego, the greed, the hatred, all of that, and seeing the true source of everything, which is actually we are all of that divine Buddha nature, that divine love and compassion, that is pure light. So these are some very important concepts in Buddhism. And then how we actually do it as Buddhists, often most Buddhists will try to keep to these 5 precepts. So the 5 precepts are mainly no killing, no stealing, no sexual misconduct, no lying, and no intoxication. So for example, no killing would actually mean that even if you do not choose to be a vegetarian, you do not outrightly, kill something for your food intentionally. So that's what no killing is about, and you don't actually harbor the intention of actually killing a living animal or living being. And not to steal means that if it's not rightfully yours, don't allow greed to take over, to think, oh, it's okay, I'll take it, and no one's looking or something. And also no sexual misconduct, things like adultery, playing around the field and think it's okay. Bearing in mind that, there are hearts that could be broken, and emotions can be a very messy and complicated thing. And also not to actually lie, Often a lot of us think, oh, it's okay if we tell a white lie. But how white can a lie really be? And is it really for the best? That's also another question to consider. And then the last one, no intoxication. It often means no intoxication in the form of drugs or actually alcohol. But of course, when you are ill, or if you're just, having just one glass of wine and it's not for, to actually get yourself drunk, that kind of thing, it's okay, because you keep that consciousness and you practice keeping that consciousness with these 5 different precepts, having respect not only for yourself, your body, your mind, your consciousness, but also for all living beings, as well as, your environment and what we are here in this lifetime doing. So that's what the practice of the 5 precepts is actually. And it's actually quite simple and not quite difficult. I mean, in Vajrayana Buddhism, which is what I've been learning, we are allowed the choice of whether we choose to eat meat or not. But if we do eat meat, there are rules about that. And we need to learn the process of how to do chants to actually deliver the souls, and to be grateful for the being for giving us that food. And also, we are not allowed to partake in any of the killing. We are not allowed to actually intentionally have something killed for us. So for example, you cannot go to a restaurant to, point at a fish that's actually swimming in a tank and say, I want that, and have them kill it for you and cook it for you. So you wouldn't have any of that. So the rules are that you try to keep the purity of although this has been a mass killing, but you try to actually pray for the being through compassion and hope that actually the soul will be delivered, and through the blessing it will get a greater rebirth and accumulating a different merit in that kind of sense. But it is a choice, and it is not without any kind of consequences, because although a lot of people feel that vegetarians are actually not killing any life, in actual fact, in some of the sutras, Buddha has said that actually you take a sip of water, you're killing like thousands of living beings, because in a sip of water 2,500 years ago, Buddha already knew that there's actually life in a sip of water. There's microorganisms. So as a living being living in this samsara, whether you take a bite of vegetable or grass or apple, you know, there's still soul and life in each living thing. So plants are living too, and they're considered to have soul, but of a fragmented nature. So when we actually do our prayers, we not only pray for those that can walk around, like animals, like chickens or something, but we also pray for, you know, the water, the microorganisms in that, you know, the souls are actually in the plants as well, because all that is precious life. And, you know, because of the granting of their life, we are able to live. So we have to have respect and, you know, great, deep kind of hope that they will actually be blessed and be able to be delivered in the next lifetime to a greater rebirth that will have them less suffering. So that's the main ideas that we've covered today on the 6 realms, nirvana, the 5 precepts, the 3 delusions, as well as the cause and effect of karma. So I hope to see you in day 3 when we cover even more. Take good care.